Let's piss some people off.
There's a moment in your life that doesn't look like anything on the outside, but inside everything shifts. Nobody warns you about it, and nobody tells you what it's going to feel like. You don't wake up and say, "Today is the day my life changes." It's not like that. It's quieter. It's the moment that you start noticing that the things that used to feel normal don't feel right anymore. The conversations you used to have, the way you used to react, the things you used to accept, something about it just doesn't sit the same. And you can't explain it at first, you just feel it. Hi, and welcome back to I Am Spies, the podcast. This is where we talk about the real things, the people that don't always know how to say it out loud. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here, you already know. Take a second to subscribe, like, share it with somebody who needs it. Because this one is one of those conversations that's going to stay with you. I'm not talking to you from a place of having it all figured out. I'm talking to you from a place of living it because this is something you don't understand until you're in it. There comes a point where you start realizing that it's not your environment that feels off. It's that you don't fit into it the same way anymore. And that's hard to accept because nothing around you may have changed. The same people are there, the same places, the same routines, but you're not the same. And now you're sitting there trying to figure out why something that used to feel so normal suddenly feels uncomfortable. And this is where most people get confused because they think something is wrong. They think, why am I feeling like this? Why can't I just be like how I used to be? And the truth is, it's not that something is wrong with you. It's that you've grown into a version of yourself that used to accept things you no longer can. And that's not as easy as it sounds because when you outgrow yourself, you're not just changing, you're letting go of who you used to be. The version of you that laughed at certain things, stayed quiet in certain moments, ignored certain feelings, gave people chances you wouldn't give right now. That version of you felt easier to live with because she didn't question everything. She didn't set as many boundaries. She didn't feel things as deeply. And part of you misses that, not because it was better, but because it was easier. It was easier to go along with things than to stand in what you actually feel. It was easier to ignore things than to address them. It was easier to stay the same than to change and risk losing people, comfort, and familiarity. And this is the part nobody really talks about. Sometimes growth feels like loss before it feels like progress because now you can't unsee what you see. You can't pretend something doesn't bother you when it clearly does. You can't sit in conversations that don't align with you and just go along with them like you used to. And when you try, you feel it immediately. That discomfort, that internal voice telling you, this isn't you anymore. And that feeling is frustrating because part of you wishes you could just turn it off, just go back to how things were. Just to be the version of yourself that didn't think this much, didn't feel this much, didn't notice this much. But guess what? You can't. And that's where it really hits because now you're in this in between space. You're not who you used to be, but you're still figuring it out who you are right now. And that space can feel lonely, not because you don't have people around you, but because you don't connect the same way anymore. You don't move the same way anymore. You don't respond the same way anymore. And people notice that. Some people won't understand it. Some people will feel the shift and won't know how to meet you there when you outgrow them. And that's when things start to change. Not always with a big argument or a clear ending, but with distance, with silence, with a feeling that something is different, even if nobody says it out loud. And if you're not careful, you'll start thinking it's your fault. You'll start thinking, maybe I changed too much, because it has happened to me. Maybe I should go back to how I was. Maybe I'm the problem. But you're not. You're just no longer willing to be who you had to be before. And that takes a lot of strength, even if it doesn't feel like it, because it's easier to go back. It's easier to shrink. It's easier to adjust yourself to fit into spaces that no longer fit you. But every time you do that, you feel it. That quiet discomfort, that internal misalignment. And that's your clarity, not confusion, not overthinking. That's your clarity. Clarity that you've grown. Clarity that your standards change. Clarity that you're no longer available for things that once felt normal. And I know that doesn't always feel good, because growth doesn't always feel like winning. Sometimes it feels like sitting alone, trying to understand why everything feels different. Sometimes it feels like questioning where you belong now. Sometimes it feels like missing people, places, and versions of yourself that you know you can't go back to. But just because it feels uncomfortable doesn't mean it's wrong. It means you're in the middle of becoming. And becoming is not a clean process. It's not a clear all the time. It doesn't come with instructions. It's messy, it's emotional, it's uncertain, but it's also necessary, because the version of you that you're stepping into, she requires more honesty, more awareness, more boundaries, more self-respect. And that version of you can't exist if you keep going back to who you used to be. So if you're in that space right now where things feel off, where you feel like you don't fit the way you used to, where you were questioning yourself more than usual, I need you to understand this. No, you're not broken. No, you're not lost. You're just growing into someone you haven't fully met yet. And that takes time. So please don't rush it. Don't try to go back. Don't try to make everything feel familiar again just to be comfortable. Let it just be. Let it be new. Let it feel different, because this version of you, the one you're becoming, she's not confused. She's evolving. And if this episode hit you, send it to someone who needs to hear it. Save it. Come back to it. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe, like it, share it, because we talk about the real things here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Love you bunches.
And remember, we're unfiltered, unapologetic, and unstoppable. That's that.